Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go again, episode 102 of At Face Value. Here with Lucas, Will, I'm Brian. Rolling on again into another week. Talking about a little baseball this week. Got some action going on. Trade deadline happened today. Same old, same old. The Dodgers just get a little bit better. They're Thanos. I mean, they are inevitable. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about our favorite team and the things that they feel like they should be doing right now, and then we're gonna talk about the Big 12. So that way we can be happy as we go out as we talk a little college football today. So let's get rolling in. So Lucas, gonna start with a hug to start off with some happiness.
So I'm going to give my hug to the Cleveland Guardians. So the Cleveland Guardians, in the second round of the MLB draft, drafted Logan Schmidt. He's a 6'4", 220-pound lefty. He reclassified. He should be a senior this year in high school. Uh, Throws 94 to 97 at 17 years old. Uh, Drafted him in the second round. Has three very good pitches, can locate all of them as a 17-year-old. It's kind of unreal. But I guess through the whole process, they said he was a little too immature, which he's 17. But I want to give the Guardians a hug for not being able to pay him the money that he wanted. So now he's going to be ending up at LSU's campus for 3 years. So LSU is going to have arguably the next Cade Anderson slash, I'm not gonna say Paul Schemes, but for the next 3 years. I guess LSU was able to together an NIL package for him that was pretty close to the 1.7 million, and he's gonna go to campus and probably make more money if he goes off and gets brand deals and all kind of things, and hopefully improve his stock and be a first rounder and sign for a bigger bonus. But this is kind of the step that we're seeing for college baseball with these big time prospects going to college, where if their numbers not being met, schools can put packages together to get them on campus. Whereas before, this kid never steps on campus. I mean, LSU has a whole laundry list of recruits that would have been at LSU had they not gone to the MLB. Mizorowski's one of them. I mean, going back, Brady Aiken. There's a ton. Obviously, we know what happened to him, but imagine Mizorowski pitching LSU. It's just wild seeing what he's doing now. And so this kid is 17, so he still has some growing to do, filling out his body, filling out his frame, getting in the LSU pitching lab. So who knows what he's going to be? Obviously, big shoes to fill, but I thought it was pretty sweet as an LSU baseball fan to get this kid on campus, whereas normally he wouldn't touch a college campus prior. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
So thank you,
pretty big.
Guardians.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you, Will?
As the obvious number one soccer fan, football fan of this podcast, as it's been very clear as we've gone through this, my hug is to the United States men's soccer team for locking up Pochettino again today. I think it's a smart move. I think we've all discussed it because the alternative was what? Like, what else were we going to get? Whether you agree with his decisions, whether you like the outcome, did we really get any further than we have been? That you can argue all of that. But what were our options past this? I think we've all agreed how much better could it have got. So I think it's good for us. I think the core should all be back for the next run. If they can all get along, we can stay healthy. I think we can build off this World Cup run that we had. Not saying we're just going to come in and waltz in the next one and be a lot better, but I think it was a very good starting ground. And continuity with the coach does matter, in my opinion, especially if you can keep a lot of your guys, which we should keep the majority of them that matter, not the whole team, but the ones that actually matter. Um, but again, as the number one football soccer guy on this podcast, I'll concede this thought to you guys. What are y'all's thoughts on us keeping Potch?
I mean, you said it perfectly, man. Um, Who else are we going to have? Number one, he only had 2 years in the system as well, so he's still kind of learning the whole process. And the players only get a certain amount of time with the national team during the season anyway, right? You have international breaks where a lot of those guys are sitting over in Europe, have to fly over on a Monday after a game weekend, get to training on Tuesday, Wednesday, train a little bit, and then they're playing a game, rest, play another game, and then fly back. So it's not like they're spending a lot of time with him anyway. And with this next World Cup, there's actually going to be a qualifying period where we're going to actually have to qualify this time. And so there's going to be more meaningful games where we didn't really get to see that with Pochettino in the qualifying stages because we were auto qualified. So um, I think it's great.
Couldn't that
I don't,
also be a good thing though?
what's that? That we
Like
didn't
having
have
to
to
play.
qualify?
No, I mean I know having an automatic qualifier is great, but
Like
like
having to play meaningful games. Yeah.
That's
yes, that's what
great.
I'm getting at.
That's,
Yeah.
Yes, like
yes.
that's
I think that's awesome. Put the pressure on a little bit, like let them play in meaningful games. I think that has a lot to do with this as well. Like the World Cup, obviously we came out flying, but the entire tenure of Mauricio
grounding hold. Yeah,
Pochettino,
grounding
yeah,
hold.
the entire 2 years leading up to the World Cup, they didn't play a single meaningful game. And so I think this is actually really good. I mean, we got to solve the keeper issue. Um, Tim Ream is not going to be on the roster. And so we got to find another central defender that can step in. Obviously, Chris Richards is really good, but we need somebody else to pair with him. So Pochettino has some work to do, some work cut out for him for sure. Um, but again, I would much rather him be the guy to find that talent where he took a mediocre Tottenham team to a Champions League final, right? I mean, they had Son and Kane who were otherworldly that year, but defensively they weren't world beaters. They had Hugo Lloris in goal back then, but yeah, he's the guy. I wouldn't want anybody else. Actually, there's a few other people that I would like, but there's no chance in hell we would get them.
Realistically,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, I started this as a joke, but in all seriousness, like, what is the harm of giving him one more shot at this?
Well, and I think a lot of that is I feel like there's the misconception because whenever you see like every other sport, the championship is every single year, and so it's okay. You didn't do well in the first year, like a lot of times they say give them 3 years to build their team and do whatever, whereas the World Cup is a little different. I mean, it's only every 4 years, and so really like you said, the last 2 years, and realistically, if you look at it, the first however many months that Pochettino was even the manager, he probably wasn't coaching very much. I think he was just watching, and he was just seeing like what he had to work with. So I mean, realistically, he maybe got a year and a half where he's actually working with the guys before they get started, which you could say is half a cycle. So it's kind of like half a season almost. Plus, you're not playing in a true meaningful game. So I feel like seeing this go through the qualifying stages and playing in those the CONCACAF in those gold cups and playing in different competitions that where it really actually matters and we have to have our A team and work on that meshing. I feel like that's where you're really going to see like is this experiment going to work or not. The other fear is that we do get into year two where we're hitting true qualifiers and then he bails and takes a Premier League job somewhere. So
Yeah, that could happen. Although I
Is it
think
is there not language in the contract to prevent that?
I would hope so. I would hope so, but also he's done it before, right? And he knows the grind of a Premier League season. And there's a lot more relaxation going on and more improved quality of life as a national team manager. I mean, that's what Jurgen Klopp did. Like he literally left Liverpool at almost their peak, man. Like if not their peak, pretty dang close.
I mean,
Um, and he
I'm
took a
sure we're
year
paying
off.
him pretty well.
Yeah, I would think. I don't know the terms, but
I'll say they
um,
haven't get it's I know it's all I see is 4 years. I haven't seen actual numbers.
Correct,
yeah.
but I'm sure it's not bad.
But if
No.
I'm not mistaken, Jurgen Klopp took the Germany head coaching position. Um, and again, the dude looked so stressed out. Yeah, he's now the German national team manager. He looked absolutely worn down after the Premier League season for I think he was there for 4 or 5 years. But the Premier League is also one of the leagues that they don't get like a winter break. They just play year round. They don't stop. And so it's just a grind where there's there's periods where there's 3 games a week. It's just over and over and over. And I mean, Pochettino's done that already. So I think at hit the point in his career, he's content to just kind of take a back seat as a national team coach and just take it easy. I think if Real Madrid comes in and offers him a crazy amount of money, then and they're going to buy out his contract, then I guess it just wasn't meant to be. But I don't think that's going to happen. But who knows?
Can only hope.
Yeah,
I got no hugs, no love.
we're just hiking everything.
Pochettino was the closest I had this week, so but Will
Sorry,
took it.
Brian.
No, it was a good hug. Appreciate that. No love this week.
It happens. It
Yeah.
definitely happens.
What about a hike, Lucas? What you got?
Yeah, I'm going to give my hike to former Dallas quarterback Tony Romo. I don't know if y'all saw the images coming out of here. He decides
Oh
to pull
yeah.
he decides to pull a Tiger Woods here and
Yeah, he did.
open container everything. Decides to drive after a golf course. Dude, Uber is a thing, man. Like Uber is a thing nowadays. Like I just don't get, especially
He's got the
those
money.
yeah, those high profile like athletes. I mean, I don't condone drinking and driving at any point in time, but you're very wealthy. You can get a freaking limo to come pick you up for God's sake. Like there's no reason you need to be driving. And then to have an open container on top of that, where you just joyriding in the middle of the day after a day on the golf course, like what is happening? I don't know. It's just silly to me. The dude probably flies around in private jets, like, but he decides to go on a joyride and didn't think anything was going to happen. The body cam footage is just wild to me.
Crazy.
He tried to play it off so well, but
My favorite part is
yeah,
he said he was
just
going
Tony
to his
Romo, man, what are
grandparents'
you
house, who
doing,
all
man?
died.
I don't know. That's
Yeah,
gonna be my hike for the week.
yeah. I agree with that 100%. I never understand that. Like when athletes just feel the need to drive themselves, it never makes any sense. Just pay a driver.
Dude, if I had that much money, I would never drive. I'd be chilling on my
So
phone.
many other options.
Dude, you could
Yeah,
have a personal driver sitting in the parking lot waiting for you whenever you're done. Like it would not be that hard.
absolutely. No, not at all. Because what is CBS paying the guy?
Oh, it's I'm sure
Oh,
it's a lot.
not much anymore 'cause JJ Watt's about to roll in there and take his job. So
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. I don't, do you think they'll actually get rid of him?
10-year, 180 million,
17 to 18 mil a year. Yeah.
and
it
you can't
depends
afford
how
an Uber.
good JJ does on the call, man. Because they they put him in that position very quickly.
I mean, JJ has a lot on his plate, being a co-owner of Burnley and everything too. That's a
And a regular guest on the Pat McAfee show. I mean,
very regular. Actually, I don't. Is he going to be allowed to do that?
I
uh,
mean, he was before, and he was already
Yeah,
tied to CBS because he was
yeah, I
doing
was gonna
in
say,
studio CBS.
yeah. I guess that's
So
true.
I'm guessing he will be.
yeah, because
But
he started doing Texan games here at the end of the season too.
yeah, I mean, just it'll be interesting though because play by play and in studio is very different animals. And there's certain guys with personalities you think would be great at play by play, and it does not work at all.
Dude,
So
look at
Witten.
Jason Witten. Jason Witten is the
awful.
number one example of all time.
Great personality, great dude by all accounts. Everybody loves him. Horrible,
Dude,
Yeah.
you look at
horrible.
soccer. Landon Donovan, one of the great American heroes, and his color commentary was
I
horrendous
mean,
during the World Cup.
Tom Brady hasn't been great, fellas. I
No,
mean,
he has
NBC's paying
not.
him a freaking over $250 million to do it, and he's
Fox.
not that good. Fox, you're right. It
Yeah.
was Fox.
But how much of that, like, was Tom Brady ever known as a very personable dude anyway? Like, I think it's just the
No.
name. Like, he wasn't like known as a big personality. I don't
No,
think.
but that's how stupid these companies. 10 years,
Yeah,
375 million.
that's
For a guy that willingly played for 20, 25 million a year in the NFL just to help his team out, and you were just like, hey, let's just blow right past that for a guy who's never been in the booth once.
It's because he
Yeah,
doesn't
All
have that
because
mod.
that
He doesn't have the model money to support him anymore. So
it's true.
yeah. I'm gonna
That's
go on a
very
limit.
true.
Well, I want to say Tom Brady's not down that bad, but the videos of him a few weeks ago when he was doing all these fanatic stunts and
the Jake
slapping
Paul or
Logan Paul,
Logan Paul, yeah,
I
Well,
he doesn't need money, man. Why is he doing this crap?
he has his own like trading card shops around the country now, right? Sells sports cards, Pokemon cards, all like legitimately, like in malls.
What? Why is he just that bored? Because he doesn't. Again, he doesn't need the money. So
Let's see.
I,
It's Card
mm,
Vault by
mm,
Tom Brady.
he's got the TB12 brand with his like workout regimen and crap. Maybe this guy just is. He just has to have something going on because I would tell you right now, if somebody gave me 10 years, 375 to call football once a week, you wouldn't hear from me ever.
Dude,
no.
there's a Card Vault by Tom Brady in Austin. Like
Yeah,
he's just
yeah,
expanding that across the country.
yeah.
But dude, he's just putting his assets in different
He's
like
laundering.
I mean, probably. He's diversifying his portfolio is what he's
There
doing.
you go. That's what it is.
That's the word I was looking for. Or phrase.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Oh, give us a hike, Will. What you got?
I have one for 29 fan bases can all take a hike. And that is for any fan base who thought that any move they made today at the MLB trade deadline made a single difference for the outcome of the rest of this Major League Baseball season. Because this feels like the most inevitable season, the most inevitable lockout coming forward, the most terrible day to be a fan of Major League Baseball. So anybody that thought you have any hope, you can take a hike because there's just nothing on the horizon. And I want to follow that up by saying I'm not blaming the Dodgers. The Dodgers are doing what is allowed to them by the rules set in Major League Baseball. They're trying to put the best team out there and they're trying to win a World Series. So I am not blaming the Dodgers for this. But because of the Dodgers' actions, anybody who thinks they have any chance should take a hike because there is none. There's
So let me
zero.
ask. So let me ask you this because I talked to a buddy about this yesterday because we brought up the screw ball trade. Is there blame that can be placed in any of this on anybody? Like if you had to blame somebody for the situation the MLB's in right now, who would you blame?
The CBA. It is money hungry owners and money hungry players. It's both of them, in my opinion, it's both of them giving up the integrity and everything of the game for the value of money. They are not putting the game of baseball first. They care about their own pockets, both sides.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I can describe it.
Because there's no scenario where the CBA is going to say, yes, let's put a salary cap on teams because that would take a hit to their
To the
contracts.
players,
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah,
it's a
and that's what
lose lose.
you see. Obviously, uh, say what you want about the NFL. That's the most competitive league in any sport in the entire world, in my opinion. Like from top to bottom. Like that's why they say any given Sunday, right? Like literally any team can win any Sunday. It doesn't matter. You see point spreads, anything over double digit dogs is an anomaly because it's typically pretty competitive and there's reasons for that. There's caps and the cap goes up every year so you can adjust for inflation and sign bigger contracts, whatever. It's kind of built into that. But the integrity of the game is always put at the forefront with those rules and regulations. But in baseball, that's never going to happen. Like the players aren't going to say, you know what, let's put a salary cap on this so we can get paid less. The contracts could be smaller. And then the Dodgers make this move so they can sign him before the lockout. So as soon as baseball resumes play, they still have him under contract for however long they decide to defer this money. Um,
And even if they don't, they didn't give up shit.
but they don't have to. Their farm system is. They still didn't give up shit, but they still have
That's
a
what I'm
crazy
saying.
big, crazy,
Like
unbelievable farm system
the
anyway.
farm system's so good. This wasn't. They didn't give up any top five prospects to get the arguably best pitcher in baseball, two-time reigning in AL Cy Young.
But they also. I mean, I don't know what the other packages were for him, but
But
it's a
I don't think
rental.
it. I don't think anybody else was giving a package, Lucas, because I think most teams, like even the trade you saw today, some teams yes, but most trades that I saw today were with the future in mind,
Yeah, like
not
this one.
this season. Because teams were like, "Why are we going to blow up our farm system to go lose in 5 games to the Dodgers? Like, there's no reason to do it."
Absolutely.
I'll tell you one
So
trade that
every
didn't have
trade
the
I
future in
saw
mind.
was with 2027, 2028 in mind. I don't blame the teams there for making those decisions, but
No.
any team, I guess I should rephrase it. Any team that thought that anything that their favorite team did today makes a difference in 2026, no chance. Just
But but
doesn't.
but the same thing can be said about the Screwball deal. Like realistically, who was going to be able to afford his contract going forward after the season? Maybe three
That's fair.
teams, and the Dodgers are one of them. And so I think that's why the trade happened, right? I think there's a plan in place for him to sign a long-term deal with LA after the season's over.
You're talking about the Dodgers, the Yankees, and probably the Mets, even though they're so bad. But like, he's just gonna keep throwing money at a wall till it sticks
Yeah,
because he has
but
it.
yeah, but again, we
Well,
might not
kind of.
play baseball next year.
I was gonna say, yeah, like really, because even
I
going to
don't.
your point of what you talked about, Lucas, about like losing money.
Yeah, start
Uh,
start that over. We'll just cut that. No, you're good.
so you were talking about salary cap. There's also the salary floor where owners are going to lose out on money because now they're having to spend more to get more players on their roster. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a two-edged sword. Like you have your guys, the players want to make money, so they don't want the cap. The owners don't want to lose money, so they don't want the floor. So it's just where do you meet in the middle?
and this thing is going to be locked out,
Yeah,
like because something has to change with the direction that the competitive balance is going with the Dodgers because they're going to be good. I mean, they could potentially win 5, 6, 7 World Series in a row here.
yeah. I mean, that's honestly realistic to think.
I mean, he used to be our guy or one of our guys. Name me one. Oh, we kind of already said two of them, but any other organization that threw $240 million at Kyle Tucker to absolutely stink at baseball and that didn't phase you at all.
Nope,
They still have the best offense in baseball and the best pitching staff in baseball, and $240 million didn't set you back a single second.
nope. That would have crippled
M-
most
70% of the
organizations.
league,
Yeah,
at least. And it was
yeah,
like, this stinks. We might have missed. Oh, he's having a bad year. Maybe he rebounds to his old form. But they're gonna win. They're odds-on favorite to win the World Series with a $60 million player being abysmal.
yeah. I
Must
mean,
be nice.
I haven't kept up with Dodgers baseball, but is he even in the lineup?
Yeah, he's hitting 230 something. I think he might be hurt right now, actually. And I don't know if he's actually hurt or if this is
Yeah,
like, dude, you got to figure something out because my God, is this bad? Uh, so anyway, I don't want to drag too much further, but
Yeah,
again, any team that thought any move that your favorite team made today mattered, take a hike because it just doesn't. The inevitable is what it is.
yeah.
Well, my hike is kind of connected to that because you said most teams that are planning for 27, 28. There's one team that made a trade today for 2026 that made no sense for the future, and that's the Houston Astros. Traded Spencer Arrighetti, who's under contract through arbitration through 2030, 4 more years, and they traded for Dalton Varsho, who is a free unrestricted free agent after the season. So traded one of your big prospects that say what you want. I mean, that, we've talked about the Astros are not contenders for the next few years at least, but we at least had pieces to build the farm system. And I would argue that Arrighetti is one of those guys. And now you trade him for a rental that you're not going to re-sign in the offseason, most likely. That's going to go sign somewhere else. And then you're stuck right there back in your mediocrity where you've been this whole time. So absolutely no sense. I mean, I don't know who to blame. I don't know who to blame Dana Brown. I don't know who to blame Jim Crane. I don't know who's in charge, honestly. Like who makes the final decisions. I feel like I have a pretty good idea. I mean, if it's who I think it is, then welcome to my world as a fan of the Dallas Cowboys boys, because that's exactly who Jim Crane is right now.
It's Jim Crane,
Uh
Brian.
yes. And
It's
that's
Jim
and
Crane.
and that's what I'm saying. Like so now two of my favorite teams that I watch in all sports, the thing that I look forward to day after day and week after week, I've now been handicapped by just horrible owners. So this is my
For those
life.
wondering, Varsho is a career 229 hitter.
And he's 30.
Yeah,
We were that desperate for a left-handed bat, even though we have decent young players in our system who play outfield. And yes, they are hurt. That's fine. But we did this last year with Sanchez when we got him from the Marlins, and he was okay, but he
and
wasn't
production.
great.
Yeah, production can't be worse than what we have here.
But I mean, to Brian's point here, like, okay, yes, Arrighetti's has shown now the last 2 years he's had some injury issues, and he hasn't been consistent, which is not
No,
great.
yeah,
But when he's been good, he's been a very good. He was 7-1 with a sub 3 ERA through May this season, or whenever until he got hurt again.
yeah.
So I mean, there's something to go there. And to Brian's point, 4 years of team control when we have zero quality starting pitching on this staff outside of Hunter Brown.
Bar Hunter Brown. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, this we are banking on guys to find former form. Oh, so Arrighetti's been hurt and inconsistent. Bring in Blanco. Yeah, he has a no hitter to his name, but other than that, he's been hurt and inconsistent. Christian Javier, he may never regain pre Tommy John form. So what are we doing
yeah.
there? We already got rid of the cancer that was Lance McCullers. So we're giving up on Arrighetti right now when he's the only one that we're not paying nothing with team control. I get why the Blue Jays wanted him. That makes perfect sense in my mind.
Oh yeah.
But for a rental, to your point, Lucas, who has a terrible average, in my opinion, what did we gain here? Oh, he's a decent center fielder. Jake Myers is a decent center fielder. He can't really hit either. So I know we need a left-handed bat. In my opinion, we already have guys in the system in Loper Fido, in Jake Myers, in Vincenzo, or however you say his name. Lamont Wade. We have guys here to do exactly what Varshaw is going to do for us, and we need pitching in the worst way. I think this was an abysmal trade. Abysmal trade.
So I did
To
look to
again
see what
go to
the
to a season where we're not going to win shit.
I did look back to see all the trades that Jim Crane has made since James Clake left. So we've traded for Christian Vasquez, Trey Mancini, and Will Smith in 2022, which you could argue Vasquez helped in that World Series run, but the other
Agreed.
two pretty
I
useless.
actually like Vasquez,
Mancini had that play at first though.
One play, yo.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
they true.
But it was
But
pivotal.
it was a major play in that.
It
In
was
Yeah,
that,
pivotal.
it was a very very important
yeah.
play.
But then you move into 2023 when we traded our number one and number two prospects for 37-year-old Justin Verlander. And then in 2024, we traded for
Kikuchi
Kikuchi for Jake Bloss, Joey Luperfido, and Will Wagner. Then we got
got one of them
Correa
back.
back.
We got
Yeah,
Luke Profano back.
yeah.
I like
We
him, man. I know he's been injured, but I like him a lot.
I do too.
He needs time. He needs time, but I like him a lot in the outfield. Sorry, Brian.
no, it's just wild. Like, because I mean, we got Isaac Paredes and Cam Smith for Kyle Tucker, and then we got Dalton Varsho. I mean, and we got Luke Loperfido back. So I mean, you could
The,
argue the one trade that was successful would be the closest would be the Tucker trade.
I was gonna
Would be the
say
closest.
the one
Yeah,
that stands out to me, and that is the Tucker
yeah.
trade because we actually got some value back. And turns out, if they're not going to re-sign, get him out of here, right? But that's the key. We got something back.
But we're talking about we have Cam Smith under team control. Yes, he's having a tough year at the plate, but he's actually been a
He's
better
young.
outfielder than I thought. He's young. You know, Paredes. Interesting fact. Y'all know Isai Paredes has never hit a home run to center or right.
Yeah, he's a straight pull guy.
It's left center at best. It's a real
Yeah.
anyway. I digress there. But I mean, I don't know why I keep fixating on Loper Fido, but I do. Between him and Myers, you cannot tell me that Varsho is going to give better value as a hitter and a fielder than either one of those guys can. And you cannot also tell me that Arrighetti can't help us down the stretch run as a pitcher. You just can't. I cannot justify it in the worst way. There's no way where this trade makes any sense for the present or the future. I'm sorry.
And again, for us that are looking towards the future, that's where it hurts the most.
That's exactly right.
And that was the hike, Brian. I talked about pre-show, and I'll just throw it in here now with it, since we're just in a hike fest. Us going 10-2 over our last 12 games was the worst thing the Astros could have done.
Right before the trade deadline too.
Because it put us in, we're leading the division, and now we're in buy mode and not seller mode in a season that is lost. They are not, even if they win the division, they're not going anywhere in the playoffs. Hell, I don't care if they win the AL. It doesn't matter. We've established it doesn't matter. And we just put off a rebuild for another year.
Dude, we're not going to get past a wild card round, guy.
We
Like,
don't have the pitching.
no.
If the offense gets hot, it can score runs. The offense is not really that bad if you look at the names up and down it. Like there is some production there, but it doesn't
Maybe.
matter if your team scores 7 runs if your pitching's going to give up 9.
Yeah.
We are 58 and 56 with a minus 29 run differential right
Yeah,
now.
we're leading a division at minus 29. Like, I'm not a statistical guy, but that should tell you a lot.
Did the Mariners win today, or did
They're
they
probably
play
playing.
Uh,
today?
They're probably still playing, honestly.
They don't have a game today. Because if I was looking at this yesterday, if the Mariners would have lost today by more than 2 runs, not a single team in the AL West would have a positive run differential. And even the Mariners only having a 2 run positive. We're trying to win
wow.
this division? Like, how embarrassing is that? Are y'all seeing something different? As far as I read
No,
it,
I am
no team has a positive run differential except the Mariners, and I think it's +2
The A's,
plus
it's plus
three.
and
three.
plus
The
three.
A's,
And
the A's have a minus 154 run differential and are still ahead of the Angels in the standings.
Dude, Detroit has a plus 63 and are in fourth place in the Central.
there's Detroit has a +63.
Yes.
That's actually crazy because
And they're
they just
four
sold
games under
off.
500. Yeah.
Oh my gracious.
They must be losing very close games when Screwball was pitching and just blowing other teams out.
They have a higher run differential than the White Sox, who are 7 games above 500, winning the division.
Correct.
That is that is wild.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But again, Detroit's only 5.5 back. It's not like they're like out of contention completely, and they just gave up. I mean, I guess you get what you can for them.
dude, they're 2.5 back in the wild card.
Yeah,
I, the,
but they did the smart
the
move.
they did
They got prospects,
for their
man.
future. That's, this is baseball. As much as we're hating on it right now, it's actually fascinating because the AL is going to be one of the more fascinating finishes in
Yeah.
recent memory of who. There is nobody has a clue who's going to win the American League. It is so wide open. It's not even funny.
Yes.
But the consensus is amongst our dumbasses and everybody who's actually smart and paid well in this industry is it just doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
Yeah.
But if you were to just forget about that and hyperfixate on the AL as a baseball fan, it is going to be a fascinating ride to the end of the season.
I mean, obviously, the payroll's unbelievably different, but Milwaukee has pretty much the same record as the Dodgers with plus 134 run differential to 145 to the Dodgers. That's going to be a very good series if it comes to that. Um, but can they do it
Milwaukee
in
just
seven?
keeps doing they just keep doing this, man. Like
But they can't break through ever. Like
that's the problem.
let's put it this way: the Diamondbacks broke through before before the Brewers did.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
The Dodgers kryptonite is always within their own division. Like they always keep getting beaten in the playoffs by teams that they shouldn't lose to.
True.
But I don't know. I mean, even with all the Dodgers blunders in the past, this one would be shocking.
Yeah. Oh, this would be the worst one.
Shocking.
This would this if they lose the World Series or don't make it to it. Would that be more shocking than the Astros losing to the Nationals in 19? Because
Yes,
that was crazy.
that was
Yes.
shocking.
Yes.
It would be
I
more shocking. I agree.
this is from a fan perspective, guys. I've never been more confident in a 7 game series in my life. That the only series I was more confident in never happened. Because if we would have beat the Rangers in 23, we would have killed the Diamondbacks,
Yeah.
just like the
Oh,
Rangers did.
yeah. Rangers for yeah, absolutely.
Correct. But let's play this hypothetical because in Major League Baseball now, you go into the postseason with four starters, right? Like you really need four guys to get through a 7 game series.
Yes.
They now have they have Skubal, they have Blake Snell, they have
Glass now.
Yamamoto, they have Tyler Glass now, and a guy named Shohei Ohtani. One of those five is not making the rotation in a 7 game series. And it might be Ohtani because he may not be healthy enough
Yep.
by
I say
default.
I would assume he'd be like a bullpen guy, probably.
How ridiculous is that? And the fact is, they're resting most of these guys on the mound because they've been off injured. And they're just like, get healthy and then let's blow your arm out in October every fourth day.
What's funny too is you didn't even mention their guy that has one of the leading uh Justin Robleski is one of their leading ERA guys.
That guy doesn't exist, Brian. You just made him up.
I wish I did.
This is my entire point. Like that guy will not see a mound in October. And he's going to carry them through the regular season until all their Infinity Stones get healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a fan. Not a fan.
And this is still without Edwin Diaz pitching at any point this season.
He's
It's true.
back. He's back.
That's what I'm talking about. Like
We forget they have a top 5 closer in Major League Baseball who's just been hanging out injured.
for 2 years. Uh, let's talk
Well,
about college football.
it was fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Enough,
man.
enough, enough doom and gloom. Let's get to some exciting stuff. That's 1 week closer to kickoff, boys.
That's right. 1 week closer. We're closing in. Talking about the Big 12 tonight. Talked about the
Man.
ACC last week. Seems like kind of a one horse race. Probably not much different with the Big 12 going in this year. Um, Little intrigue with Texas Tech now that they no longer have well, they do have a quarterback, but it's not their $5 million man. So little intrigue coming in with Texas Tech as far as what it looks like next. But other than that, I think it's going to kind of be another conference like we've talked about in the past, where it's just going to be just an absolute dogfight every week. Just average teams just beating up each other, and then ultimately somebody facing Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship. So,
Yeah,
uh, Will, I mean, kind of, what are your thoughts on the Big 12 and who you kind of looking at?
A lot of what you just said, Brian, I think I don't think it's as clear cut as we discussed last week with the ACC of Miami. I think is leaps and bounds ahead. Texas Tech should be based off of money they've spent and talent that they've accumulated, but I don't think the gap's as wide as maybe everybody's expecting it to be. Especially with the quarterback. Now, I'm not saying Will Hammond can't get it done because he did play before and he did look decent. And really, what was that gap between him and Sorsby? I mean, I don't know, but they've spent the money. They do have the talent, so I agree that Texas Tech is the cream of the crop here. But I don't think the gap between 1 and 2 is as high as what we discussed last week. But the rest of it is very similar. The middle of the pack here, God knows what's going to happen between probably 4 and 10. It could be a hodgepodge of just uncertainty. Any team could muck it up, make things difficult for maybe not Tech, but your two, threes, and fours, who I think are your BYU's, your Arizona State. With I don't think you can just dismiss Kenny Dillingham. I mean, he's shown before he's a good coach, and he can get talent there. He can get the most out of what he has at that school. So, those type of teams that I think are at your second level, the Big 12, uh, they have to watch out for the bottom half, if you want to call it that, because any of those teams can show up and make it interesting. And we've seen it the last few years, right? There's been some teams that we didn't think were going to win the Big 12 have had some big upset wins. Not, I wouldn't say ruined some seasons, but have made seasons a little more dicey. So I'm not sure. Like, I think last year we labeled this as the most exciting conference. I don't think we're at that level this year, but I'm not going to sit here on August 3rd and say it's just a runaway train for Texas Tech. I think that'd be a disservice to the other teams behind them.
I will.
Well, I was gonna say one thing I will say, and Lucas will probably say the same thing. Texas Tech's schedule is a joke.
Absolute, absolute cakewalk. Like we were talking about Kansas State's schedule, and we'll get to that here in a little bit before the podcast. But I mean, Texas Tech skirts Utah, BYU, and Kansas State. Um, they get Arizona at home, and they get Arizona State at home. Like, and if you want to talk about TCU possibly making a little bit of noise, they get them at home too. They go to Oklahoma State, which we could talk about them. I think they're going to have a little bit of a bounce back from where they were, which you can't go lower than what they were. But that schedule is so light, like it's crazy. And obviously losing Sorsby, I think, is big. But defensively, I think Texas Tech's going to be very good still. Like we talked
Yeah.
about them last year about how good their defense had played all season. Like it was pretty impressive. They
I know
lost
they
that
lost
Rodriguez
Bailey.
kid.
They lost Bailey and Rodriguez, but doesn't
Yeah,
Tech have the most continuity coming back
I
in
think
the Big
so.
12
Yeah,
as the
They do.
favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, we saw last year like they had a lot of ups and downs at quarterback play to begin with. Like last year, and look where they were at. And arguably they had a tougher schedule, right? They played Utah at Utah. I remember that game. They went to Utah and won that game when their quarterback got hurt. So yeah, I think Texas Tech. You're right though, Will. I don't think they're as big of a favorite as Miami is. I think they would have been if Sorsby was there. But without Sorsby, I think that puts a big damper in the whole thing. But I still think they're significant favorites and should be a runaway um, team to represent the Big 12 in the playoff this year. Um, unless some of our dark horses have something to say about it, but I think
Yeah. And
I
I mean,
mean
really
like
for me, I mean, kind of going back to your point from the last year or two, Lucas, about BYU, like they're always going to have experienced guys who are always going to play tough. Plus, I mean, I haven't looked at their schedule, but I mean, like, what is their, I mean, I have it right here. So they go to Utah is realistically their toughest game, and they play Notre Dame in non-conference.
yeah,
I mean, other
that's
than
tough.
that, I mean, they have Cincinnati at home, they have Baylor at home, they have Arizona State at home. I mean, they go to TCU, they have Arizona at home. I mean, their toughest games are pretty much all at home, which I
Yeah,
think benefits them for sure. And then Utah is, I mean, right down the road. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a big trip for them, but uh but I think they'll be tough for sure. And I mean,
One of the big things too. I know we talked about the whole 5 for 5 thing and your clock starts whenever you turn 19. I wonder how that's going to affect BYU with the older players. I didn't think about that till now since we brought them up. But for years I've said, yeah, they're typically more mature because they go on a mission, that kind of thing, and then they come back and they're older, stronger, more physically developed. But I don't know how that's going to work now, to be honest. But I still think they'll be pretty good. Definitely one of the favorites to compete with Texas Tech. Um,
they don't have their super soaker coming back this year, but Jake
Bachmeyer,
Retzlaff, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Bachmeier's got to take a big leap forward,
yeah,
man.
exactly, exactly.
I didn't. He was decent. He was a freshman. I'm not going to sit here and th throw him to the throw him to the wolves, but okay, you've had the team for a year. You've got a full off season. You've had some experience. I need to see something here because if there's not a big improvement at quarterback play there with Bachmeier, I'd be a little worried as far
Yeah,
as BYU making that trying to make a leap in a conference where you can and you should get your shot because you have it lined up here. You could easily be playing Tech in the Big 12 championship game
yeah,
to get the one bid I think this league gets. I don't care if it's two undefeated teams in conference playing. I still think it's a one bid league. I don't really see a world where Big 12 is getting two unless there's some tomfoolery happening in other conferences. But
mm, we talked about the
mm,
scenario already,
I know
and it would be it
we'll
would be
see.
absolutely brutal if that happens. But um, yeah, I also think. I mean, Utah's kind of in the same boat as BYU with Dampier returning. Like he, I mean, he had flashes where he was very good last year. I just
yeah,
can he
my biggest
can he be
thing,
consistent enough? Like that's the thing. Utah's going to have a good defense. I think they promoted their defensive coordinator who led everything. Obviously, their defense has been solid the last few years, but yeah.
I
yeah,
actually like Dampier a lot.
Do you?
I
Yeah,
really do, man. I think I don't know what all of his weapons are and what he's going to be able to do, but I mean, 24 tutties to 5 picks shows me you you make good decisions in the pocket. You're not throwing balls in a position where you're going to put your receivers in a bad spot, or you're not just making bad decisions and getting picked off. Now, the yardage isn't great, but the QBR was good. He was seventh in the country in QBR.
yeah,
I mean, he's a he's an older guy. He's experienced. So I think Dampier won't be Utah's problem. It's how much of Kyle Whittingham 2.0 are they going to be, or and how much new stuff's going to really come into the system with Utah.
I guess my I'm not gonna lie, I didn't sit down and watch a ton of Utah football film, but the one game I did watch from start to finish was the game against Tech,
And
and
just got the
Dampier looked like he had no idea what to do.
in hell,
Like, yeah,
absolute hell.
and that's the credit to Tech's defense in that situation for sure. And I don't think he's going to be facing that level of defense week in and week out, which maybe he can flash a little bit more this year with another year of experience under his belt. But I feel like that's very similar, where there's not questions about quarterback, but a returning quarterback that's going to play a big part in their success. Um, I mean,
Yeah, and
shoot,
that's always the biggest thing. I mean, yeah, like when you have a starting quarterback coming back, that's the big thing. The big question mark for Utah though is that it's him and Wayshawn Parker, their starting running back.
yeah,
They're the only two players that played meaningful games last year, like
it's
multiple
true
meaningful games. Plus, they only have four defensive starters coming back. So, I mean, Whittingham took a lot with them. They lost a lot in general. I mean, it's just there's always the question mark. I mean, I'm looking at some of the recruits or some of the transfers that came in like under the new head coach, and I mean, really like it's not really a lot of power four guys, a lot of group of five guys that are coming in to try to take over a lot of those positions. So it's all, I mean, I guess it always goes back into how does it work with the system, like we've talked about before. You know, you have to bring these transfers in and it has to work with the system. So
for
can they
sure.
get it working to where they can be effective?
I also feel like Utah always finds these like diamonds in the rough from like Hawaii for the defensive line. Like it is wild how
Offensive
they
line too, right?
and offensive line. Yeah, these
Had a
diamonds in the rough, these
had a first
huge.
round pick last year. He wasn't a highly recruited fella. I mean, like he
No,
just. I
so
guess I guess I'm skeptical with Utah. Just I know it's gonna be Whittingham adjacent, but Utah's hit great, right? Like you had Urban Meyer, and then you
yeah.
had Kyle Whittingham. Like, do you really think you're just gonna keep going with that? And credit to both those guys, but did you ever really elevate to any significant level? I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think y'all both know what I mean. Like they had them all relevant. Like both those coaches had this team in the mix, but never really getting over a hurdle here. So
Yes, but obviously Whittingham came in and they were already in the Big 12, maybe, or they were in the Pac-12 at that point. They were in the Pac-12. But
Pac
before
12,
that,
yeah.
when Urban Meyer was there, were they still in like the Mountain West or something? Like, so there was a big
yeah,
jump in competition too when that whole process came through, and they stayed competitive throughout the whole process.
correct.
Because
But
obviously
Whittingham's been there since Urban, right? Whittingham took over for Urban.
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yes.
Yeah. So this is
Um,
this is a major change.
yeah. Um, but I mean, I shoot, didn't they win the Pac-12 the last year of its existence with USC and like all the big names, Oregon, and so like
Yeah.
they have some notches in their belt at Utah, but on the national stage. I mean, it's just not a conference that's competing for national championships typically anyway. I mean, the last championship was what, Texas '05, whenever Texas and OU were still there. Like,
Yeah.
and I guess technically TCU played and won, but did they actually play? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean,
They were there.
it's a very rare occurrence that the Big 12 is in the national conversation.
Was that really the last time
The Big 12
outside
won
of
the Natty.
TCU was 2005?
I, bel
Well, Texas played in '09 too. Lost to Alabama.
Oh, that's true.
oh,
Yeah.
Colt McCoy, yeah, yeah.
Colt McCoy got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow. I
But
that's
was
less
gonna
than
say
that's the last time the Big 12 won one was '05. Yeah.
so in three occurrences, and now two of those occurrences are now an SEC team. but three occurrences the Big 12's been in a national championship in the last
21 years.
maybe longer. Because before that, like that was when Miami,
Oklahoma,
Ohio
though.
State,
Let's say
OU,
'03 is
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
O
Yeah,
three LSU absolutely destroyed them.
Oklahoma didn't make it back after that.
I don't.
Oklahoma won it, and I think the year before
Did they?
in '02, I think.
Oh, one
Oklahoma
maybe.
won it one year. It was '01 or '02, one of those years.
Miami was also good in those years. So I don't know. We're
It was
getting
2000. It was 2000.
2000.
OU won in
I
2000.
I remember Stoops won one and then just kind of rode that for the rest of his career.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
but
anyway, back to the current Big 12.
Well, I mean, one of my biggest question marks, I know we talked about it a little before the pod. I mean, is there any way that Colin Klein gets Kansas State back to a contender of the Big 12?
yes, I say yes. Um, I know you like Devin Dampier. I, Avery Johnson started the season off absolutely god awful, and then he started like they started actually like opening the playbook up for him, like and letting him do his thing. And I think that was the biggest issue at the beginning of the season with Avery Johnson because he's a run first dude, and they were just having him sit back in the pocket for the first. Because didn't they start like 0-6 last year or something crazy?
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't know if it's quite that bad, but it was way worse than we thought. I mean,
Yeah, and
it it was surprising.
I think if you get Colin Klein's offense with a playmaker like that, I think there's potential. I mean, Will, I mean, you watch Colin Klein's offense for how many years? 3, 4 years,
Yeah,
maybe. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Marcel Reed had some weapons around him, but I don't think Marcel Reed is a world beater quarterback, especially at like the next level. Like,
no, but Colin Klein wasn't either, guys. And Colin Klein was he finished second in the Heisman or third. I
yeah,
know he definitely got invited to one.
yeah,
I'm not for sure he finished second or third, but you kind of hit the nail on the head with Colin Klein, Lucas. Is that I think his offense is going to need a specific style quarterback and a guy that just got out of college football, who I think would have been perfect in Colin Klein's offense is a man named Haynes King.
yeah,
That would have been a guy I would have loved to have seen him in Colin Klein's offense because Klein tried this last year at A&M with Marcel, and I think there might have been some disconnect there where I think Colin wanted him to run more, and I don't know if Elko or Marcel himself what the deal was here. They wanted him to throw more, and you saw mixed results both ways, right? Like you saw where the run worked out great. Sometimes it just got blown up. The passing the same way. So I think Colin can have a very successful system, but I think the way he likes to design it, it needs a very specific type of quarterback, and that quarterback is a prototype of what he was at Kansas State.
yeah,
And there's nothing wrong with that. And the way recruiting goes and the way the talent of football is in this country, like he can definitely find that guy. Is Avery Johnson that? I don't know. Um, he could be, but year one, I'm a little skeptical. And and that's why I'm a little worried about Klein is that I think he's a little bit too committed to his idea of an offense, and he doesn't really adapt to what he has in front of him.
yeah,
Where I didn't think last year, sometimes with Marcel, some of the play calling was, I'm watching it. What the hell are we doing right now? Because he has his idea, and he's not the best in-game adapter. Like you come into a game with the game plan, oh hell, the defense is shutting this down. What do we do? It was like, hey, let's just keep going with what the plan was, even if it's not working. And that would be my reservations as a Kansas State Wildcat fan.
yes. But as an Aggie fan and watching all their games too, when the plan worked, it worked well, and they were
It
scoring
worked
for
great.
fun. They
It
were scoring
worked
for
great.
fun. Yeah,
Yes. It's when it doesn't work,
yeah,
we have to adjust on the
agreed.
fly. It was like, well, this is our game plan coming in. We're just gonna
Yeah,
keep hammering it home.
yeah.
That's a little concerning.
Uh,
But
the halftime
you brought up the
adjustments.
schedule.
Yeah, yeah. What I was
It
going to
may
say
not
that
need it.
the halftime adjustments he made in Baton Rouge last year worked out okay though.
Was great. It was great. It really was. We got aided by a punt return and a Marcel Reed screw it play where
True.
he was. That was not a design run. That was I'm going deep, and Marcel read the defense and realized all of y'all's defenders went deep, and I'm gonna go cut up the middle.
Yeah.
That wasn't a Colin Klein design. That was Marcel having one of his better moments and reading a defense and going, I have a lane, and it just happened to get all the way to the end zone. But
And I think Avery Johnson is athletic enough to be and do things like that as well.
I agree with that because I think the way they used Avery Johnson last year was atrocious.
Absolutely.
They did not play to his strengths at all,
Nope.
and his
No.
strengths will be better in a Klein
Yeah.
offense. I'm just a li- I liked Colin Klein. I didn't love Colin Klein when he was
Yeah.
play calling A&M. So I guess that's where I'm a little bit on the edge here.
But again, you mentioned it just a second ago, and we talked about it earlier. That schedule, um, man, it shakes out so well for them. Um, it's they miss all the big hitters, man. They're literally skirting past TCU. I mean, not TCU. Texas Tech, Utah, and BYU. Their toughest game arguably is on the road at TCU. Um, I mean, there's a scenario where Kansas State could possibly go. I'm not going to say undefeated, but I mean, in the regular season, if things go perfect, if the coin flips their way, they should be favored in most of the games that they play in, is what I'm saying. Maybe they're underdogs at TCU late in the season, maybe at Arizona State, but they're favorites across the board everywhere else.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it. I would say TCU will probably be the one because they have no buys. They go one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 games in a row to end the season, five before TCU, and that's a brutal stretch for any team to play that many games in a row
Yeah,
without a bye mid-season. Their bye's very early. It's after their 3 non-conference games.
yeah,
They have no bye in conference.
yeah. That is tough. Um, but again, and we made the argument, or I made the argument before the podcast started when we were kind of talking. If Kansas State runs the table, let's say they run the table and go 12-0 in the regular season, and they're probably in the playoff. Are we agreeing with that or no?
They would
Because
have to be, right?
the committee has said they're not going to punish.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna say if you go 12-0, you can't kick them out for losing the conference championship game. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be in.
but with that schedule, should they be in? And that's the whole
I mean,
argument. That's the whole argument with
there's a
Indiana,
difference between should and will. I
for
mean,
sure. Like, would they deserve to be in over a 10-2 SEC team?
No. If you go 12-0, yes, you have to be. I don't really care.
Even
I
if
think you have
Texas
to
Tech
be.
wins, but if Texas Tech wins the Big 12 championship and their one loss is against Tech in the championship game,
They're still in
that's
unless it's 66-10.
that's that's where the discrepancy and people are getting mad about the way the committee has set up everything is for situations like that. And again, a lot has to happen for that to play out.
Yeah,
But
they're not going better than 9-3, so it's fine.
well, it's fair. But that's just a scenario that it's just like their schedule shakes out to where they could run the table if the ball rolls their way, right? That could potentially happen where you get two teams in where they played legitimately nobody in the regular season and get rewarded for it. But I don't know.
I mean, that was the people that argued that BYU should get in last year. They played nobody except for Tech.
I mean, guys, Kansas State was a trendy pick last. Hell, I picked them to win the Big 12 last year. They were a
Yeah,
good team coming in and with a favorable
Yeah,
schedule,
yeah.
and just
I think y'all both did,
absolutely.
honestly.
I don't remember.
I for sure did. I threw my weight behind Kansas State. I don't think Luke. I think one of y'all picked him as a dark horse, and I picked him to win the conference.
Brian, I
I
think you
was
had Tech.
I picked Tech. Yeah,
Brian definitely had Tech. I know I threw my weight behind Kansas State. I was a big believer in them. I thought Avery Johnson was going to take a step forward. I was wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things. I was very wrong about that, and that was very apparent when they played in the Aer Lingus last year, and it
Oh
was
but I was gonna
God.
say
r-
they call it the Dublin curse playing week 0 in Dublin. So
it was
Yeah.
they said
really bad.
Kansas State season's already set up better because they don't have to go to Ireland
Yeah.
this year.
So maybe I should be throwing my weight behind them this year because I was all about them last year. I thought the schedule set up well. Avery Johnson could take a big step forward. They had some weapons. I like climbing, but they stunk.
They were
They just
bad.
they just stunk. But after everything I've said, I will think Klein will get more out of Avery Johnson than what he was given last year. I think they just misused the ever living hell out of
Definitely
him.
agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Well then, let's make our picks. So Lucas, who's your conference champion?
I'm gonna go the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I think they're just
Really
too
going out
talent.
on a limb.
Yeah, I think they're too talented, man. Um, on both sides of the ball, even without Sorsby, I still think they're better than everybody. Um, again, like we talked about, are they as big of favorites as Miami? Probably not, but yeah, give me Texas Tech to win the conference this year.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, even with me saying that, I think maybe it's not as even though after all of our points, maybe it should be, but I still I cannot. I think Miami should just steamroll the ACC. So it's a slight below that. Tech should win the Big 12. They've spent the money. They have the talent. McGuire's a good coach. I think Hammond will be a decent quarterback. He's shown that he can be one. It would be the second most egregious thing of this college football season if they don't win the Big 12 conference.
Agreed.
yeah, I mean, I agree. My big concern really is how is Will Hammond going to look because he's not even fully cleared from ACL surgery yet.
Correct, yeah.
So he may not even be available week 1. So if you're having to step in with your, I guess technically number 2, but realistically it's your number 3 quarterback because Sorsby was your 1, Hammond was your 2. Which I know I know the talent or the schedule is not there. I mean, they start off with who Abilene Christian, so I mean, they're not going to lose that game, but you're losing out on that. When you start getting those things clicking and start working on things with your team, and kind of like we talked about, where you play more of the cupcakes early in the season to really start getting things together. So I do think you still miss out on that for whenever you get into your conference games, but. I mean, I still don't see any reason why Tech doesn't win the conference this year. But what about your dark horse, Lucas?
We just kind of touched on it, man. I think with their schedule, uh, I'm gonna give Kansas State my nod for the dark horse. I think that schedule's really light. I think Avery Johnson, as we talked about, is going to be used a little bit better to his skill set. And I think they end up playing Tech in the conference title game. Do I think they go undefeated? No, I'm not betting on that. But I think there's enough wins in there to make a run to get to the championship game where they'll get blown out.
For
That's
sure.
probably that's probably pretty fair, yeah.
Who you got, Will?
Give me, even though there is some tough road games in their schedule, but give me the Houston Cougars as a dark horse in the Big 12. Willie Fritz might be one of the more underrated head coaches of the last 10 years at least. I mean, He's won a lot of games at every level. Um, he got Houston to, it was a very good team last year. If there's any reservation, I think Houston was in 7 one-score games last year. They went 6-1. So the likelihood of pulling that off again is not that likely. But they're tied, or they have the most continuity coming back in this conference. They brought a lot back. I've seen Wegman firsthand as an A&M fan. He was better at Houston last year. He has the talent. He's seasoned. He's healthy. He is a good quarterback. I'm not going to try to act like he's not. He has the tools to be one. Um, and yeah, there are some tough games. They have to go to Tech. All right. Well, dang. To Kansas State and to Utah. Every other game on this schedule is winnable. Like this team, if this team does not go 9-3, in my opinion, that would be a subpar season. And you knock off one of those two games on the road, you got something cooking here. And
Yeah.
and I think Willie Fritz is a good enough coach to maybe pull off one of those wins on the road, especially against a first year guy like Colin Klein. Earlier season, it's only the third or fourth game of conference play. So yeah, give me the Cougars.
I actually thought about them too because I do think Willie Fritz is a good coach. I think he's done good things in Houston, so I think he's definitely got the ability to make some noise. I mean, it's just trying to find a way to get over that gap. It always seems like they kind of hit a wall somewhere to fall backwards. So
Jim Crane
can
won't
they
let
get
it
over the
happen.
hump this year? Oh man. Well, I'll throw another one y'all probably didn't even consider. How about the University of Central Florida Knights as my dark horse?
Yeah.
Scott Frost in his first time, not saying this is going to happen. In Scott Frost's first tenure with UCF, first year, they went 6-7. The next year, they went 13-0 and were crowned national champions by themselves. So now this past year, they've gone 5-7. They have a lot of their defensive secondary coming back. They've got big transfers coming in. The biggest transfer of all being Alonzo Barnett III, the quarterback from James Madison, that's been there the last 9.5 years. So I really think that him coming in, and I think it's really going to put a spark. They talk about Scott Frost. Historically, he's had like kind of a high pace, fast pace, high efficiency offense. I think Barnett's going to help key into that. And I mean, and really, like you look at their schedule. I mean, we talked about avoiding the big hitters. Their big game is they host BYU on October 24th. They don't play Utah. They don't play Tech, and they don't play Kansas State. So they've got the ability to really make a run where they got TCU at home, BYU at home, Baylor at home, Arizona State at home, Iowa State at home. They go to Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma State, and Houston. So
Wow.
I mean, I think realistically, there's the ability for them to actually be able to make a run if Scott Frost can put things together to where they can have another magical run from 2 years ago. Not saying they're going to go 12 or 13-0 again like they did in 2017, but there is a chance that they have a much better year this year. So UCF Knights.
You know it, Brian. Didn't even give them a thought.
Nope.
Yep.
Did not even give them a thought. But I don't hate the logic there at all. I really don't. And looking at the schedule here, I can see some magic happening. Yeah, I would say their toughest road game is probably at Houston Conference. Not, I mean, Pitt at Pitt's tougher, but I mean at Houston is probably the toughest game here. So they get all their bigger conference foes at home. I don't hate it. I mean, as the guy who took a wild limb last week. I'm not going to sit here and cast a stone. So
That is true.
I do want to
Yeah.
get y'all's take on one team who media wise is a little bit trendy, but we didn't really bring up at all. It's at Oklahoma State. I see you nodding, Lucas. Is that who
Yeah.
you're thinking about?
Absolutely. Yeah.
because I thought maybe one of us, because again, I didn't think any of us picked the trendy pick last week, and again with Virginia Tech was our trendy pick last week in the ACC, James Franklin. The trendy pick in the Big 12 to me would obviously be Oklahoma State, and none of us took it. I think for good reason, because I think they're a little bit overhyped. But I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on them.
I mean, they can't go at 1-11 again,
Correct.
for sure. And I mean, Mestamaker and Morris coming in. I mean, that's going to be a fun offense to watch, especially in the Big 12. Like if anything comes out of all this, like they're going to be a fun watch. Um, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to play a lick of defense. Um,
That's my point here is that everybody's talking about Morris and Mestamaker. Coach, quarterback. There's a lot of other positions on this team that
yeah,
have to carry you through a game
for
to
sure.
just be worried about. I think they'll both be very good. I think Eric Morris can get Oklahoma State relevant. I mean, the Big 12 is a very wide open conference to get a team back to relevancy again. So, and Mestamaker, very good at North Texas. They have continuity. They've been together. But I'm of the opinion, pump the brakes a little bit, that Oklahoma State's going to go from zero to hero in this first season, where some people are really high that, oh, they can make a complete turnaround. I'm a little bit skeptical.
Um, I haven't even looked at their schedule. But I
I
would
didn't even
assume,
bother.
yeah. Um,
It's it's a little tougher.
oh
It's a little
God, I mean,
tougher.
the Oregon's coming to town week 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and chalk that up to an L. Um, but they do host Texas Tech. They go to Kansas State. They go to Arizona State. They go to Houston. Um, I mean, do I think they can maybe pull out one or two of those out of a hat? Possibly, like just in a
Which is
shootout.
fine. That gets into what, 8-4?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
maybe 8-4.
I
8-4 is probably the ceiling.
and that's my thought with this team. Where I think so many people are, if you were to give a dark horse to most people, it's like, oh well, yeah, Eric Morris and Drew Mestamaker at Oklahoma State. Like this, they've been so good for so long, and the Gundy era ended just horribly, and they're gonna have new guy rise up. Not saying they can't get there. I think they will. I just don't think this is the year to put a lot of stock in Oklahoma State to shock the world.
They're going to win games
yeah, I
56
mean,
to 49.
Absolutely.
yes.
Go back to the old Big 12, right?
Yeah.
Where there was no
Yes.
defense.
Cause like that's what I'm looking at. Like there's a chance they could go 2-2 in the month of November. There's a chance they could go 0-4 in the month of November and lose every single one of those games. I mean, you got to go to Arizona State, to Kansas State. Those are tough. You got Texas Tech at home, still tough. I mean, Kansas. We didn't even talk about Kansas. I mean, we don't know what kind of team they're going to be with Leipold, whether he's going to be able to take another step. I mean, don't they have Jalen Daniels coming back this year? So I mean,
No, they don't.
There's no chance, right?
No shot. No.
We,
I mean,
If
we joke about a lot of quarterbacks coming back. There is no
I mean,
way he is still at Kansas.
if he is,
look it up.
Legitimately, there's no way, Brian. We we
This
joke
is
about a lot of shit on here.
I
There's
really don't
no way.
know. Oh yeah, longtime starting quarterback is finally out of eligibility. Oh,
okay.
It's probably better for them, right? Like, talk about a guy who kept getting second chance after second chance with potential that just was never that good.
dude, I was about to shit my pants. My God, Dylan. I didn't know Dylan Edwards transferred there.
I didn't know
The
that
The
either.
Kansas State running back, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes.
If Daniels was still there, but that'd be like saying TJ Finley still has some eligibility.
Yeah, actually,
He might.
no, he did. He
He
retired.
actually might.
He retired. I'm pretty sure he medically or just retired. He
I
still had a
I
Yeah,
year
I
left.
I think Finley was just going for Guinness World Record. How many schools can I enroll
Yeah,
at?
yeah.
It was insane.
but anyway, going back to Oklahoma State, I don't think they're gonna be. I don't think. I think they'll be better. Obviously, be better in 111, but they won't be good.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
I
I
mean, it's
think
hard. It's hard for me to trust North Texas transferring, even though the Big 12 is not one of the higher level conferences. It's hard for me to trust the North Texas transferring to the Big 12.
but dude, like
Wow,
did you trust James Madison transferring to Indiana?
that's true.
Dude, I'm not saying Signetti, this guy's the next Signetti, but like Signetti pretty much brought most of his roster from James Madison to Indiana and they made the playoff in the first season.
That
Went
is
11
true.
and 1. Granted, they lost the only tough game on their entire schedule. Like, I mean, crazier things have happened, but
I was gonna say, yeah.
I don't
There's
think they're going
also
11 and 1.
very much a difference in strength of schedule between those two teams as well.
Indiana's was easier
Yes, that's what I'm
for
saying.
sure. Yes,
I think
but
Eric Morris has a tougher road year one than
agreed,
Signetti had in his first year.
agreed.
So Oklahoma State's winning the national championship next year, is what you're saying.
Next season, yes, not this year.
Not this year.
I'm gonna go ahead and
They're
say they're not this year.
they're gonna go
Well,
11-1 and lose to Texas Tech and still make the playoff.
yeah, we'll revisit this conversation next year. The next time we talk about Oklahoma State football,
Yeah.
True.
because I don't think we're gonna be talking about them much this year.
But also, Meston won't be there, I don't think. So
Who knows?
He'll probably be at LSU.
Nah, nah. Freaking Sam Levitt will be there again.
He has 2 years of eligibility?
He does.
I did not know that. I thought he had one.
Mm-mm. Unless he goes off and gets drafted high.
Not going to tip my picks for SEC preview.
Dude,
not yet.
someone in SEC Media Days had a great quote about Sam Levitt. They said Sam Levitt is going to get an NFL GM fired because he's gonna put up crazy numbers at LSU and Lane Kiffin's offense, and he's gonna get drafted into an NFL franchise and absolutely suck. I thought that was
Uh,
I thought it was a great
I love
quote.
that. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
Happens every year.
yeah. I mean, Jackson Dart has potential.
He does.
Yeah,
He had a good rookie season.
Yeah, he's got real concussion potential.
that's also fair.
And he's also got his literal bulldog in the backfield behind him. So,
Doing backflips.
yes, with broken legs.
Oh
The most
god.
obvious case of living CTE we've ever seen in our life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's dude. This dude is like Gronk times five.
Yes, dude. So crazy.
Yeah,
I
but
love it, though. It's fun to
agreed,
watch.
agreed.
We're talking football, boys.
It's
It
great,
Yeah.
makes it fun. It's all football.
dude. Like football kicks off this month.
Yeah,
That
it
is correct.
does.
End of
Sa-
this month.
Sam's Club has Christmas ribbon up already. Like it's here.
We'll save that for next week's hike.
Dude, they have Halloween stuff out too already, dude.
Fair
Yep.
enough. That's not December shit.
Halloween makes a lot more sense than
Yeah,
Christmas.
it's pretty awesome. We're here, boys. Big Ten
I'm all
next week.
for it. Next week's Big Ten.
Yep.
Start
Starting to
getting
get
a little more interesting.
yeah, starting to get the fun stuff.
Yep. As we start closing in.
Yep.
So, all right. Y'all got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. Keep watching, keep liking, subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your family. Follow our TikTok for all the good stuff, all our great projections. Check out our posts on Facebook. We'll do our conference champions and dark horses that we'll post, and we want to hear your thoughts too. So make sure you give your thoughts on all that. But other than that, we'll see you next week.
See ya.